What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
You're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is the Two Tree Guy Podcast. Sitting here, not drinking beers today, but talking to a couple industry badasses in our industry and in the fire industry. Is that what you would say? The fire industry?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And I don't have my co-host with me, Jared Abergina, here today.
Like, Jared at?
Yeah, he's not here. He's in South Carolina right now, and that's okay. That's okay. But I got Bob. Bob's always here. Hi, Bob. He's in the back from there. But with us today we have Anthony Pedro from Future Fire Academy, a nonprofit that you started. We're going to hear about. I just got to spend a little bit of time with you and kind of hear your story and how you came up and building this. And then we have a product of another academy, the Academy trained here in Santa Rosa, California.
That's
Stephen
right.
Greene. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Hearing his story and these guys and how they met, it's a neat story. And I know we didn't dive in too deep on your guys' relationship and everything and, how it came to be, but we're going to hear that today for that. So introduce yourself. Tell the people out there across the world and in South Korea and in New Zealand, our biggest fans. I got to learn how to say, what's up, South Korea in Korean, so they can hear that.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So my name's Anthony Pedro. I'm a founder and founder and CEO of Future Fire Academy.
How you like saying that? Does that feel weird?
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's because I just actually so I'm a professional firefighter, and just about 3 days ago I actually put in my 2-week notice and I quit. 30,
you quitter
For a better cause.
You quitter.
I quit to do this nonprofit fire academy, which we started to go 100% with it. So
wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah. Were you nervous when you walked into the captain's office?
Oh yeah. So actually, I've been I was on paternity leave for this longest time, and so I've been trying to reach out to them to let them know, like, hey, like I'm not coming back after this paternity leave, and I couldn't, so I actually just sent it through an email. To be honest,
let me make it easier. Here's the email.
Yeah, I've been trying to reach out.
That's how I used to break up with my girlfriend. Shoot him a text. Ain't working. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. But it's no hard feelings because honestly, in the end, I'm gonna support them and help provide them with the manpower through the nonprofit fire academy. Yeah. So it's like they're losing me, but they're gaining back 10.
Hopefully get more firefighters. Exactly. They lose one and possible more.
Yeah, so it's like sometimes so I feel like honestly like someone's got to be the sacrifice for certain things. You got to be the one to
pave a way.
Yeah, to pave the way for others. Like someone got to be the one to take the L. And honestly, like we know about taking some L's.
Yeah, we know about taking some L's, but hey, we're at a W now.
Yeah, now
we're for sure at a W.
And exactly. So it's like which you'll all learn, we've been through,
some roughs.
But so it's definitely, by taking that leap of, of fate that, hey, you know what, like I'm leaving that after, putting in all the hard work to become a professional firefighter, to leave that. Yeah. It's like, it's we could do it confidently because we know what we're doing. Our heart's all in it, and it's for the better of people and, help to fight these fires that only get worse. And, in your profession that you spend the last 10 years, being a part of, I thought you'd be a great person to have on the show because in our industry, tree care and fire go hand in hand, especially out in California, of where we're at, in the millions and millions of acres. We're working side by side with you guys on these fires and fighting these fires, and it's coming. Fire season's coming up here soon. But then, not only that, but an academy that you have for these individuals that you built and now are devoting the rest of your life to building that.
with your passion of firefighting and the synergies of the tree care world and also the fire. It's going to be interesting to see us in the next month to year of how we can work together to help each other out and how we can help this industry and our industries out to give men and women opportunities to get jobs, make better lives, and hopefully be able to save future lives is what we say, and to elevate our standard. And elevating the standard isn't just in the tree care industry, it's in the fire industry. It's in every industry that's out there. So tell me about
you said it there too. You said the magical words.
What's that?
Future.
Yeah, the future.
All about the future.
The future.
Yeah, man. That's that's what we started, because it's no longer about the past of many things. It's the future, and like you said, to help fight the fight. Right, and we're all in this. It's essentially all fire prevention, right? Like the tree service is fire prevention. Even with the cleanup, it's still your part. We're all part of the fight. And so
and I think that's something too. We need to come together more as one unit.
Yeah.
And just until I met you today, I've always thought of it as, two separate industries, they're out there, they're doing their part, we're doing our part, but how do we bring both of these industries together more, for that? And thinking, I'm like, you know what, we're going to put a free class out there to all the firefighters in Northern California and do some felling classes and working with the chainsaw classes for free for our industry or for the fire industry. And I know Ben, who's sitting over there, is going to get thousands of them to come here, but we're going to have classes maybe quarterly that they're going to be able to come to and kind of build something like that with you guys. But talk to me about the Fire Academy. Tell me what this program is and how do you get in it and who's the individuals are coming through, because you just had your first graduating class, man.
Round of applause to them real quick.
Congratulations.
Nice. So class 22.1 just graduated. We had 5 cadets graduate. We put them through, what we call the ringer. In the beginning, we kind of run them to the ground and just push them, after, of course, application process and that. And we push them to, in the
physical.
It's a really physical.
Because it's a physical job.
Yeah, it's
you
really,
need the physical in it.
You got to have the endurance. You got to have the stamina. And so, honestly, when we put them through the ringer, we run them, we hike them. And we want to see that they can get honestly, we just want to see that they won't quit. Like, they don't have to have the fastest run time.
Yeah.
They don't have to be a track star or nothing. We get it. No, but as long as you can do your best and show me that you won't quit, then like that right there is huge. Because one thing I could teach firefighting all day. Our instructors, we're dialed firefighting trainer. Like we're gonna get you dialed too. We that's not a problem. We could do that all day. But what we can't teach is heart. You can't. That's one thing.
You have the heart for it.
Yeah,
you have the heart for it.
You gotta have the heart.
So who are these two? I mean, your Fire Academy. Why'd you start this? Why do these individuals want to go through an academy for the fire?
Okay, yeah. So honestly, like to get into the fire service, it's so hard. It's and the thing is, like, it's kind of backwards, because industry that needs so much help. Right, it's lacking in the manpower. It's so hard to become a professional firefighter. It's like where there's so many different loopholes you got to go through just to come, and so that's why we started it, because like, honestly, like in my area where I live, El Dorado County, for a local to get in the fire service, they got to commute to either the Bay Area or Sacramento, and that's even if they get an academy. And then now they got to commit their time, they got to pay thousands of dollars. And they got to dedicate months to get in, to even go through an academy. And so for the 9-to-5 working man and woman, or someone who just wants to change their career path, anybody who just wants that opportunity, we started our academy. It's a non-traditional academy. That's why we're a nonprofit. So we actually offer it for free to individuals who want to join and get in the fire service. Yeah,
because I have friends that are in the fire department, and it isn't easy. It's hard, and they go and they try and they go the EMT route and this route, and then eventually they go, I'm done. I'm gonna
exactly.
I'm gonna go do this.
It's so hard, and
well, especially with our background. So that was the biggest thing, right?
That's what we're
you know what I mean? Is
background,
you know what I mean? Our backgrounds of faulty background, you know, and I think that's where my boy is going at.
Yeah, so
it's hard to get in with the background of ours. If you have a shaky background. But it's like, hey, there's still something for you.
Yeah.
You know, hey, it's hard, but hey, look, there's this academy that will get you there.
For sure.
They'll help you, you know, and help you point you in the right direction for the future. You know, like I said, like faulty background, you know, I came from prison, you know, and I'm in this industry now and really high in this industry, I feel, you know, and escalated real quick. I've only been out a couple years.
Gotcha.
But, you know, I'm a foreman now. You know, through, you know what I mean? And was trained. So like you said, like it goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
Tree and fire go hand in hand. I came from the fire and now came into the tree area, you know, went from just failing, you know, cutting line, you know, came home, was like, wife was like, no, you're not going to be a firefighter because I need you to be home. So here goes, let's see what else you could get into, you know, seen an ad. Hey, okay, there's a tree company. Okay, well, hey, let's apply for it, you know, but it's just the drive, you know, people coming from incarceration. We need a drive, you know, need some help. And, you know, the FFA program is there to help the people who have a drive to change, you know.
And that's where you guys met?
Yeah, so actually, you know, before I was a professional firefighter in this, you know, licensed EMT, working for a city department, you know, and before FFA, Future Fire Academy, I was actually in prison myself. I served almost 9 years in prison, California State Prison System, you know, for a stupid mistake I made, you know, just being stupid, young, immature. And the good thing about, you know, like, not to, you know, like, so apparently our brains are stopped growing at 24 years old. So good thing I did it when I was but it was fucking stupid, you know, shouldn't, you know, I was raised with, you know, I lost my dad when I was a young kid. You know, I was raised by my mom. She gave me all the tools and all the skills to become a successful person, you know, and I still fucked up. And, you know, like.
That was me.
You know,
like, same
story.
You
know what I mean?
Almost the same thing. You know, I came from a family. I didn't come from a broken family. You know, I came from people, hard workers, everything. I actually was just a product of a neighborhood. You know, I didn't have a mom who was like on drugs or anything. I didn't have my pops. I didn't have a pops, but you know, I looked to the streets, and so then I kind of just ran the streets for a while.
That was your role model.
That was my role model for sure. And then just got into trouble, you know. And my mom was like, "Dude, go to school, go to school, go to school." Okay, yeah. And, you know, I like it real rough upbringing. Got shot when I was young. You know what I mean?
Where'd you get shot?
In my stomach.
Oh shit!
I got some. Yeah, and a lot of people know that. When you look at me, you wouldn't even think. You know, that I've been actually shot 3 times.
And he's still breathing.
And still fighting and climbing and all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Running people to the dirt. You know, when I met this guy, I was his trainer in prison. You know, so in prison, there's we fought fires. You know, there's the inmate fire crews. You know, and that's how we met.
Now, how long were you in prison for?
I did 12 years.
12 years, 9 years. You were already on. How'd you get in the fire team in prison? Tell me about that program.
Well, they have it. You know what I mean? It's like you have to be a model inmate to even go into that field, because you're in you know what I mean, in the public. You know, you're fighting. You know, when you're out there fighting the fires, there's no COs.
Was this something that you had to work for? That you knew that's just what I wanted to do?
No, actually, good. I never even
or you
knew
were just
about it.
Good in prison. They're like, hey, do you want to get in this?
That's what it was. I didn't even know about it until a counselor was like, hey, you could go down and go fight fires. I said, what? What are you talking about?
See, like, for him, like, he did not 12 years to do 12 years, and for a counselor to, you know, tell you on your annual review, which I'm sure that's how it went down. They're like, hey, you'd be a good candidate for that, you know, because he did so much time, and to do that much time, and with, you know, obviously he had a clean slate, you know, like, even
well,
from,
not that clean.
Yeah.
Not that clean, but
At least you didn't get caught.
I didn't get caught for it. That's all. I didn't get caught for it. That's it.
Yeah, bro. No white lightning. Hey, so honestly, like for me to get in the program, I had to have a whole ass fire science degree before I got in. And it was because I had that fire science degree.
In prison?
Yeah, I did it while in prison.
So you got in just by being good, but you needed a science,
exactly.
Well,
fire
there's
science
two
degree?
sides of it. You know, so they have wildland, they have hand crews.
Okay.
You know,
what you got in?
That I did.
I did the hand crews.
Yeah, like the hot shots.
And you were getting on.
And I got in it was an all risk, all hazard fire department, but through the prison. Is so it was called the CCC/HDSP. So it's California Correctional Center / High Desert State Prison Fire Department. And with that fire department, it's an all risk department where we respond in the local community 911 calls. So, traffic collisions, medical aids, structure fires, vegetation fires, any kind of call, we're going. And it's off prison grounds in an engine. So that training was kind of like a little bit more extensive. So to get in there, you got to bring something to the table. So being that, I did my correspondence college courses before, prior, I'm showing them like, hey, I got my degree before it. And it just so happened, I dodged all the bullets too and didn't get no disciplinary write-ups and, before. And so I had a clean slate, and being that, they know that it's hard to focus in there, but to do a whole college to get a college degree in that environment, like we didn't have the frat parties and the we didn't have no
guys in cages.
Yeah, it wasn't no quiet library study time. It was like there was
a lot going on.
It was around it was so, but being that they saw that, they know how hard that would have been, so that they took the chance with me.
So they took the chance with you to get in, and that's where you met Steven for the first time.
And that's where we met Steve.
So what was? I mean, where'd you guys meet?
Where we met first is I was a physical fitness trainer. So you have to go through a
before
training,
prison or in prison?
In prison
before the fire program.
Before the fire program. So when you go into this fire program, they have like 2 weeks of physical fitness.
Yeah,
right.
Ringer.
And you have to pass this before you go to the schooling part. And that's where I met Anthony at. I was the trainer. I was the guy.
Oh, you were training.
I was
you
training
were
them.
doing the ringer.
I'm the one running around,
was,
running miles with them. Something called Harvard Steps. It's
and
just
how'd you get in there to be the trainer? I mean,
just somebody. I worked out like crazy.
He's
so
like
you were just like, heck
yeah.
yeah.
Honestly, when I met him, I was like, this dude's a fucking drill sergeant.
I used to lose my voice yelling
I remember that.
at these guys. You know what I mean? Because I'd be just 1, 2, just getting it. And
passion.
What fed me is when I see everybody in that cadence and everybody is moving, that just drove me.
Cool.
But so that's where we got it at. And
was he a good student?
Yes, for sure. He wasn't one of the guys, or sometimes they have to go through the physical fitness training like 2, 3, 4 times. Because they just haven't met the certain points and what they need, because you have to. It's a physical job. Firefighting is a physical job. So we met through that, and then so he went on, and we parted ways from there because I was still training, and really I only trained because I was about to get married.
Gotcha.
So I didn't want to have to go out to fire camp, come back, and just do this whole back and forth thing. So I kind of just stayed. Oh, you know what? I'm going to stay. The coach looked at me and was like, dude, would you want to be a trainer then? All right, yeah, I'll stay and be a trainer for you then. What do I got to do? I want you to run these guys like crazy. I want you to Harvard step them. We're going to go on hikes. I want you just to be there and motivate these guys. You could speak. I see everybody listens to you. You're motivational. Like, let's go. I'm like, all right, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
But it got to a point where I was like, you know what, coach, I got to go. Like, it's time for me to go fight fires. I want to go. And we make a little bit of money in there.
Okay.
It's not a lot
for the ramen noodles, so you can cut your hair, right?
So as an inmate firefighter, you make $1 an hour. I mean, but it's something.
It's more than anybody else is
more
making.
than anybody's making in there. So I mean, but you work these shifts, these 24 on, 24 offs, and so you think about it, as soon as you leave the camp gates, you're on. Your hours are clocking. So those little dollars are adding up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
especially
adding
over
up.
years.
And I fought like 2.5 fire seasons with them. you know, but it was so good at it, you know, and that's where I said I loved the saw. That's why I never ran a saw ever before. I never dropped a tree. Yeah. I'd never done anything like that until I went in, and the captain was like, dude, go grab that saw.
So what's the education like?
Yeah.
In prison with going out on these camps? Who's teaching you? They run you through beforehand?
Yeah, they make
or
us,
do they kind of just hand you the saw?
No, it's Cal Fire. So because we went hand in hand with Cal Fire in there, we're Cal Fire's hand lines. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be Cal Fire. You go through the physical fitness part, then you go to the classroom. You know, and they run you through your firefighter 1.
Yeah, they do your boot camp part, the 2 week of yours, and then after
your boot camp's 2 weeks.
Yeah, his
with the physical fitness part, and then you go on to another 2 weeks. Yeah, so you do your 2 weeks.
How long were each day?
Oh, they're
full days.
They're full
all
days.
Day,
yeah, they're full days. Full days. Yeah.
Okay.
By the time they're done, they're
getting you ready. So you're gonna be out there.
Yeah, because you're gonna be hiking. Out there hiking your ass off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
so you got to be ready.
Yeah, you got to be ready. You're packed
because they can't be out there fighting these fires and have some guy that just can't keep up.
Yep.
And then now you put 4 people at risk. It's like someone in the water is drowning and 3 other people try to save them, and then they're at risk, or somebody in the tree that's hurt. You know, and you go try to save them and do that.
Sure.
Yeah,
and you can't even get there.
Yeah.
So I mean, so
definitely a standard for sure.
2 weeks training, 2 weeks like where they teach you pretty much like fire behavior and how to cut line and everything, and then they just throw you out there like, all right, here, go fight fire, dude. Like what?
Yeah, they'll send you. You know, so the thing is, like with Cal Fire, they're our state department. They are they're one of the top 3 biggest agencies in the nation and fire service, you know. So so when it comes to any fire that pops off in the state, anything that's, you know, a huge fire, they send Cal Fire, and they go to the head of the fire. So it's like it's like, picture it like a foot. So, you know, there's the heel, which is the back of the fire, and then there's like the front would be where like the toes are. That's the head of the fire. And then there's the flanks, you know, on the right and the left, right? So Cal Fire, no matter where the fire's at, they send them to the head, you know. So it don't matter where you're gonna get that experience.
Now, why is that? Why do they send you guys to the head?
It's because they're the most, they're the top, you know, they're the top dog. This is what they do. You know, there's a reason why Chile, you know, hired Cal Fire to help them and teach them and educate them on how to fight wildland fires, because we get so many fires here in our state that they just got that experience. And so when you get on with the state, regardless it be an inmate, you know, hand crew, or, you know, just being out there, you know, on any fire, you're gonna get the experience regardless.
Yeah.
You know,
oh, for sure, I got.
Yeah, you're gonna learn, and you're gonna learn real quick.
Is that where you got your love for the fire?
Yeah. That's what we call that. It's the fire bug. It's when you get.
Yeah. When was that moment? Do you remember when you was it, you know, week in, month in, 6 months, where you go, this is it.
Yeah,
this is what I want to do.
Firebug. Okay, so when I got into the firehouse program, I came in just in time before fire season. It was in like 2014. And my academy was in spring, which isn't too bad because it wasn't too hot. But and so it was, I think it was my first fire. I remember it was just we saved a home. So it was like, I think it was like saving that home, really, like going to the head and pinching it off and stopping it before. You know, I think that was like one of those moments where it's like, man, like we saved this home. And then not only did we save the home, but it's like there was you know, little tricycles and kids' toys all around that home. So it's like that was, you know, a whole family's home. It wasn't just, you know, you know, so, and they put in that hard work and that love into that home. That was their, you know, and so it was really rewarding to be able to save that, you know. So I think that was the moment where it's like, you know what, like this is it for the rest of my life now. Like it's got to be this now, nothing else.
So that's kind of where you felt like your journey started.
For sure.
Like that's it. Yeah. So now, what year were you in, and what year were you in your sentence right now?
At this point, so yeah, I did about almost 9. So this was 2014. Yeah, and that was what I went in 2010, March 10, 2010.
Gotcha.
So I
For
still
like
get
4
mad.
years into it.
Still get mad. That's why I'm a
4
firefighter.
years.
I don't do that.
It took you 4 years to have good behavior?
Yeah.
It took me a whole lot longer. Like 9.
So yeah, that's about half the sentence. Yeah, about, and because I was in the firehouse program for it was 3 years total. There was a bill that passed that set us free early. And I wasn't supposed to be home till 2021.
Yeah, me too.
Last year
I would have just came home September.
Yeah. So when that bill passed, for guys like with our crimes, violent, we were, for me it was 13 years at 85% I had to serve. For him it was probably 18.
It was 15.
15 at 85%. So that's why he did 12, or right?
Yeah.
So okay. So like
But the bill didn't. For me, it didn't pass until like later. So that's why when it did hit, I was like, man, they're not gonna change that. Until I seen it in black and white, I was like, oh, whoa, wait, my date has changed. Coming home 2019. What?
Your journey that you had, that you were on. I mean, this is where you're like, this is my journey. This is where I'm going to go now for that. So what? Because you had 4 more years, 5 more years left.
Yeah,
and you were fighting fires every season. What were you doing in your off time?
Okay, yeah. So that's what I was saying is the milestone credit when that proposition bill passed, Prop 57, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so when we should know that. It said it's free.
It's gone.
We should vote. But yeah, so
you're like, wait, let me see. I got that.
Yeah,
57 right there.
Yeah, so like that was a big moment where it was just like, hey, you know what? Damn, I'm about to go home already. And then what happened was they said, being that you had your college degree, I just took that. And I took it alongside people who were able to get milestone credits. And here we are taking the same class, and they're watching their release date get shorter and shorter, and mine's still the same because, I wasn't able to get milestone credits. But when that bill passed, they went retroactive, and they said, hey, being that you had your degree already and you got all these firefighting certificates, you're about to go home in a few months.
What?
So I was
how many years did you think you had at that time, or what was it?
At that time, I still had like 3 at that time.
And it went to 2 months.
And just like that.
What was that feeling that you had when you heard that?
I remember that moment. It was when we all huddled around the TV and we're like waiting to hear the announcement. Is everyone at the firehouse, because it was a fire department. It was an actual firehouse. We all lived there. There's 12 of us. And we had captains, chief, everything, structured just like a fire department. And so here we are, all the guys were just waiting. And once we heard it, it was just like, man, it was like a holy shit moment. Like in your lifetime, you have like a few holy shit moments. That was like one of those ones like, holy shit, we're going home.
Yeah.
And so we all just cheered and celebrated, it was basically celebrating for us is just staying up late and eating a lot of junk food.
Yeah, for sure.
Making
a spread.
Making
a spread. Let's cook.
We'll get into the food stuff later.
Man.
So it was just a really good moment in life where it's just like, you know what, now damn, we can go home sooner and do this professionally. Like, and a lot of my buddies and I were just like, hey, we all had intentions of doing it because we fell in love with it.
Yeah. So
we were just convinced, like, yeah, fuck yeah, when we get out, we're all on the same page. Like, we're all helping do each other's resumes and just getting prepared for that. And then then when we came home, pursuing the fire service, for me, I actually, got those certificates. I came home. It was a struggle at first, the whole transition for me, like little PTSD stuff with certain things, big crowds. It was tough. I threw up a lot because I'd get like motion sickness and kind of like dizzy when being around too many people. It was just it was kind of hard at first, but
it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming for sure. And people are so rude and disrespectful in the real world.
Yeah, that part right there.
Yeah,
it's overwhelming because it's crazy because when you're around so many people, but you feel alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you come to the world and it's like there's people, it's a different feeling because these people are your family, your friends. So it's like, oh, they're giving me so much love. Like, what do I?
You don't even know what to
do with
this.
You know, I'm used to being so alone and isolated.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what to do with it.
And then another thing too is like, you're back with your family, people, hugging on you and like,
that part you kind of tense up.
It's kind of like it's new, and then not only that, but another thing too is like inside prison, it's very structural, very respectful.
Yeah,
it's nothing like what Hollywood shows, that bullshit. It's nothing. It's like it's very structural. structural and very militant, because if the reason whenever it does get out of line and disrespectful,
it goes out of line.
It could go really bad.
That's the part where they show in the movies.
Yeah, that's the part.
If it's gonna get crazy, we're gonna make it crazy.
Yeah. And so no one wants to ever get it there. So it's
always respectful.
Yeah, and then when we come home to the real world, people are.
Chaos.
Yeah. They'll cut you off on the road.
They'll cut you off.
They'll cut you off in the grocery store line.
You know, in there, excuse me. Hey, excuse me. Hey, I'm gonna walk behind you. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Real respectful. You come on to. I came home just like people were just like, watch out.
Yeah.
Move. Like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Like,
what? All up in your space.
On?
You know.
Yeah.
I was like, hey,
why are you on me?
That's why when the 6 foot spacing came around, I was like, cool. We've been spacing before.
I know how to quarantine.
Yeah, we know how to quarantine. This is a cake for us.
Yeah.
So, what was your kind of first steps towards this profession that you wanted to get into?
All right. Yeah. So what I did, I actually got dropped off at a local fire department. I didn't even have a car at this time.
Who dropped you off?
It was a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just were like, hey, drop me off.
Yeah, it was kind of like, hey,
I want to be a firefighter, so drop me off at the fire station.
Yeah, and it's funny, looking back, looking back now.
I'm like, well, how do you get in this? Okay, do you have to fill out an application online? Do you go? But you just walked to the fire station. Was like, all right, I'm gonna apply for a job.
Yeah, and so and looking back now, I was like, what the fuck was I thinking?
But is the prison system trying to get you employed and help you and give you the right paths?
No,
they were just like, out.
Yeah,
see ya.
So I felt like I retired early, and then when I came home and had those little PTSD stuff, I was just like, you know what, fuck this post-traumatic stress. Like, I'm just gonna do what I love most, and I'm gonna try to get this fire job, because at this point the Paradise Fire was cracking off. I could smell the smoke, and I'm just like, I need to get out there and do something. What am I gonna do? So that got dropped off at the fire department, and and so I just knocked on the door, and the administrative lady said, yeah, I can help you. I'm just like, yeah, can I speak to a chief or someone?
Want a
job?
Just
like, she's just like, yeah, do you have a appointment, or what is this regarding? I'm saying, just employment, maybe if they want to, if I'm want to fight fire, and she was like, okay. She's like, well, the chief happens to be here. Let me see if
he'll talk to you.
So it's like, looking back now, it's like, fuck. And, I wasn't even the clothes I was wearing, weren't even matching. It wasn't, and so he actually took me in the office. It's probably like, I gotta meet this guy. Like, who is this?
Who is this dude? Yeah,
is this a joke?
Yeah.
So he sat
me.
Well,
no one ever does that. And you just didn't know any better.
Yeah,
and sometimes that's when the doors open, because you had no fear.
Mm-hmm.
You just went through because you didn't know any better.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Well, this is weird.
Yeah,
sure, come on in. I never had anybody do this before."
Yeah, because usually he's used to people kissing his ass and like going the whole, I'm sure traditional way of like
certain steps.
I just go bust in there like, what's up?
I need a job. What's up?
Yeah,
man, I want to become a firefighter.
So I give him my resume and the little certificates that I did have. I showed him, and he was just like, he's like, wow, it shows you have a lot of experience here. And like, he's like, what? I don't understand. Where's this place, this fire department you worked at? CCC. I never heard of it before.
It stands for California Correctional Center.
Yeah.
That's what CCC stands for.
So I was like, yeah, it's a fire department, near Susanville, California. And he's like, yeah. So what are they? Where are they? What did you do there? And I was like, yeah, I left as an engineer where I drove the engine. I started off as an entry level firefighter and promoted up. He's like, okay, good. So why'd you leave? I was like, well,
well, they kicked me out.
Yeah, I was like,
I got released.
So I told him, I was like, well, it was actually, a prison, and it's a prison fire department. And he was just like, are you shitting me? I was like, no. He's just like, holy fuck. And he's just like, he's like, you know what? Before the fire service, I used to be a sheriff in Arizona. And then that's when I was like, oh, it's over. It's like, it's over. So he said, but there's one thing I'm known for. A lot of people, they don't like about me, and that I'm known for giving people second chances. And that's when I was just like, man, this is my moment. This is another oh shit moment. Mm-hmm. And he told me, he was just like, and I feel like with you, I want to give you that second chance, and I feel it.
You're
in my
bold
heart.
enough to come to this door.
Yeah. It
bold
must
enough
have been
to give you a chance.
Yeah, it must have been. So yeah, he did. He took that chance with me, accepted me as an intern. which was huge. And it was funny because they give you optional.
But what was the process of that? He just was like, fill out the application,
fill out
and
the-
you know what?
yeah.
I'm going to take you in.
Yeah.
So because you knocked on that door, I mean, is he taking interns all the time?
No, but I brought a lot to the table.
What's his name?
Chief Mark Matthews.
Chief Mark Matthews.
Yeah. So he he just retired too, by the way. So
but thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
giving
thank
my
you,
boy a
Chief.
chance.
Yeah, thank you, Chief. So I told him,
Chief Matthews.
yeah, I told him, I was just like, honestly, yeah, I was straight up with them. I believe in being transparent, and you know, it was a stupid mistake. Committing, robbery is fucking dumb. Like why? But I was straight up with them. Like, this is what I did. It was a horrible mistake. I was, there's
grown from it.
Yeah, there's no excuse. I was young and dumb, but still, I still shouldn't have done it. I paid my time. I put in my time, and I'm very remorseful for what I did.
I don't want to go back.
And, I said, but meanwhile, I have these skills. I've been doing firefighting for 3 years now, and with no days off. Firefighters work traditionally 2 days on, 4 days off. Unless you're on a fire, they're
not there.
You're
on
not a lot of days.
Day.
Yeah. So, but so he saw that experience. Like, hey, here's someone who's been working for 3 years straight at a busy department. That's experience. Like, okay, he saw the potential. He saw, he took that second chance with me, and I got in as an intern. So as an intern, it's optional. You can do as many shifts as you want. Usually they still do.
Are they paying for you?
Yeah,
Are they
they'll
paying?
pay stipend pay. Yeah, and so it wasn't much, but it was something.
You're in.
I was doing it for $1 before. So
Yeah.
like, shit, you're gonna give me
anything was better.
Yeah,
than
yeah.
that.
And then so honestly, like at first I was doing shifts like all the time, like sometimes for like a week straight, and then they're like, hey, you need to go home, man. Like,
they're like,
man, I don't want to go. I don't want to
because
miss a
they're
call.
2 days and then 4 days off.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you're just 20
I'm
days
here.
straight.
Yeah, I was just working like nonstop, and then so they like, you need to go home. They're like, I don't want to miss a call. Like, like this is the funnest thing ever. Like I'm doing it again. Like, no, they're like, just go home. So I went home for a day and came back and did another week.
I'm back.
Yeah. Because it's like I've been away. It's like it was perfect.
Yeah.
And so and it was, I love it. It was it was a great experience, and getting that foot in the door is what then I actually, that's how I helped me get in with Cal Fire, where I was working with them for a couple years as a seasonal firefighter.
So you went from the intern working with Chief Matthews. What city?
Somerset, California.
Somerset.
For Pioneer Fire.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
and then you went in, and how'd you get into Cal Fire?
So with Cal Fire, now that I had some time in with the local government department, because Somerset's a small town, but it's still considered a municipal department, a city department. So it looks good on the resume, whereas before it was just, my prison experience. Now it shows like, hey, they took a chance with him. So now when I applied with Cal Fire, I had the certificates, because while I was home, I was also putting myself through other education, other schooling, so I can get in with Cal Fire was the goal, So that's what I did. And, keep in mind, like during this time though, like I was gifted a car from a friend, and like, a cell phone was gifted to me. The area codes, I still have the same number that, it was gifted to me. It's not even in my area that I live, the area code, but I still kept that. It's meaningful for me, so because it's my it's my story, it's like, so I kept
Is your
that.
friend still paying the bill?
No, and I upgraded the phone. And the phone got upgraded to iPhone now.
Oh, good.
It's funny because when I went away, it was like iPhone 1, and now we're like iPhone like 13.
When I went away, there was no iPhone.
Ooh,
Yeah, dude.
There was
flip
no-
phone.
For real.
Yeah,
You were
there
back
was
with
no,
the
there
beeper.
was no,
with the old
yeah,
Nokia
There was
little
no
bricks.
iPhone when I went away. Yeah,
Like, dude.
to come home to what is this? I can
What
touch
is-
the screen. What is going on?
So yeah, technology. That's another story. But
Yeah.
so it was, when I got it with Cal Fire, it was a great experience with them. I worked in LNU, so that's Lake Napa unit here locally. This was my district too, Santa Rosa, and so it was a good experience because there's a lot of fires in this unit. They're like, so back to what we're saying with the state, they go to all the fires wherever they're at. So this unit actually gets, it's one of the biggest Cal Fire units in the state. and they get a lot of fires, you know. So you get that.
I've fought a lot of fires out here.
Out here too, yeah.
One of my first fires was the Santa Rosa fire.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
My first call I ever took was like, we're going where? Santa Rosa? Where's that at?
Yeah. Traveling. Yeah.
Well, here at the academy and at the ranch here, it's this is kind of the hub for individuals or friends and friends of friends and family, where when a fire breaks out, everybody comes here when they have to evacuate. So we've had 15 donkeys, sheep, horses, campers everywhere, cots in every single room, families, staying here.
I was here one year when I
Were you here?
Yeah,
I was here. Okay. Yeah, I was in
the academy.
I was in Moab, Utah, and I just remember because we were hiking and then we got to self-service. I'm like, holy shit, the whole place is burning down from that. And then coming back, they had generators hooked up. People had dish duty,
campers
cooking
everywhere.
Yeah, and everybody came as a community here. So to anybody, and if a fire breaks out in this area, come to the ranch.
Yeah, that's huge. That's awesome.
So you Cal Fire for how long were you in Cal Fire?
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, so it was funny because I was actually on the hog fire in Susanville, and that's where I was on that fire. I got a phone call, and I don't know how I got the phone call because the cell towers burnt down, but for whatever reason, the call went through. I answered, and it was my chief from the city department offering me a full-time job as a permanent full-time engineer driving the engine, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it.
Wait, Chief Matthews?
Yeah.
Called you?
Yep. He called me, and you can't be on your phone.
But were you guys keeping in touch with him?
Yeah. I went through the application process. I put myself, we got through the EMT course. We got through, put in all the hard work, and so now I'm fully qualified, and now I got more experience with the state. So now I'm coming back, so
more experience.
Yeah. So now and the goal was, it was just like for me. A lot of it, like the state was great, but a lot of it was kind of like I was chasing to make the history, because it hasn't been done before. For someone to do as much state time in prison and get on with the city department hasn't been done. At that point, at this point, especially with the record, I got my EMT. Well, I still have my record now, So there was another bill that passed where, people who have backgrounds that come from the camp programs, they could get their records expunged to get an EMT now. So now there's more stories like mine happening because of that bill that passed.
But you were the first
before, and actually, with the record, still get my EMT, and that's mainly because I did so much time. So like when I'm pleading my case to them and letting them know like, hey, I'm trying to get my EMT, like. The minimum requirements EMT for municipal, and so when I'm trying to get it, I'm just letting them know like, hey, since I've been home, I've done this, and this. I'm taking this class. I just went out on a limb. I'm taking it anyways. I don't know if I know I'm gonna pass it. I don't know if you're gonna accept me to take your national exam, but I'm just doing it anyway. So like I'm already almost done, and they were just like. This is like the board, the people who like approve you to be a licensed EMT. They're just like, well, good luck in the class, and it's like no pressure to them neither, but it's also, I went to them too, because most people won't go to them. But I know like when my paper slid across their desk, I didn't want them to just judge the paper. I wanted them to put a face behind the name, right? So when they see Anthony Pedro.
This is the person who came to
it's like,
us.
Oh, this is the guy. Yeah, Anthony Pedro. That's right. Okay. And then maybe they think, twice before they just toss it in the shredder, So, and so they did, accept me. I had the license, and then I went through the process with the Cal Fire really helped me with that when I worked with them, set me up for like mock interviews. We practiced, they helped me upgrade my resume, better reference letters. So now I came ready, and then I went to that interview dressed up,
What, with Chief Matthews?
Yeah. And then now
he was like, good boy, you got some matching clothes.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. Now you look like someone. So and then
I bet you he was happy to see that, for someone to give someone a second chance and take you in as an intern like that, and to watch you come back after a few years and sit in front of his desk and be like, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the next chapter. My friend.
And it was huge, and at this point in life, it was like it was another oh shit moment where it's like, fuck, we made it, professional firefighter, like we made it, we're there, we at a point when I should have been like celebrating, like, and cheer, and at this what happened around that time. some of my buddies who I was in the fire program with, remember how I was telling you when that bill passed and we're all celebrating, we're all released, right? Some of them try to pursue the fire service as well, and they weren't as successful. Everything for me just happened to work out where, I made it, like it just, timing was perfect.
Determination too.
Yeah, and like
hard work and determination.
For them, like they were my peer, they were my superiors, like my buddy Randy, he was an engineer. My buddy Justin, he was the lead ambulance attendant. Like I wanted those positions, but they were good, like hitters. Like they're real hitters out there, and they beat me to those positions. So I knew for sure, like when they came home, like they're gonna be, any fire department would be lucky to have them. But they ran into some issues where they weren't able to get hired. They weren't as successful. Randy, he went back to his old ways. He committed a crime. And he got some jail time. He actually hung himself in his jail cell, and and then Justin, he freaking he ended up because he was a Marine and he had a little bar fight, some little bullshit mix up. He ends up going into to prison. That's where we met, right? And I helped get him into the fire program with me. And so I vouched for him. It got him in. So it was just like, and he excelled and he beat me in positions, and then like he tried to pursue the fire service as well. And, unsuccessful. He ended up overdosing himself purposely, and they both left kids behind, it's like, and it's like, it's like at a time when I should have been like celebrating, it was, I was mourning my friends. I swear when I left that interview, and when I was coming out of that interview from Chief Matthew, and I walked past another guy going into the next interview, and I swear I saw my buddy Randy. Like I looked back again, like, fuck, man, that was Randy. Like, but you know what? It should have been Randy, and he would have beat me to that position again, And it's like, it's just like at that time, it's just like, that's when I said, fuck this shit. I took it personal, and that's when we made. That's when the idea of Future Fire Academy came up, where it's like, hey, we got to do something to make a difference. Like, because this is just two stories from my personal experience. There's other ones I know too, but Steve, like I know a shit ton just like this, right? And it's like, because there's no
opportunity,
there's no pathway, there's no mentorship, there's no guidance. That's why with Future Fire Academy we started. We bring them in. It's a family, It's like we're that mentorship, we're that guidance.
Yeah, look at me. You could do it.
Yeah, look at we like we're the light at the end of the tunnel to show, hey, we did it professionally. All of our leaders, all of our captains, everyone who they've done time just like us, and now they're fighting fire professionally too. And now since that bill passed, we have one guy that he's actually in a municipal department, huge in a big city. We got guys working with Cal Fire. And, they're all formerly incarcerated, like we got Steve-O's a huge supporter of us too, as far as like, been a huge advocate. I gave him a t-shirt, a volunteer t-shirt. And so he wears it and he went, don't.
Yeah. People who ask me like, so you're a candidate? Where are you a candidate at? Like, you're a cadet.
Yeah. Give him a cadet shirt.
It says cadet on the back of my shirt. You're like, cadet? Where? And then I'll tell him it says FFA, and then I'll tell him about the academy.
And so we've had people come hit me up already for this next academy we have, that through your network. I didn't meant to tell you too. There were a couple of people hit me up from SAC, right. Sacramento, like
that's right,
who just heard about it, and so the word's getting out there. It's an 8-week academy that we run. It's a Saturday and Sundays. During the week, we do fuel reduction projects where we clear lands, do fuel breaks, defensible space projects, where we're out there thinning the forest, helping, more of the fire prevention side of things, like trying to help homeowners, clear so firefighters can have a fighting chance defending their home safely. Because, as a firefighter, if I go to a home that's overgrown with just a bunch of shit, I'm not going to go in there and fight that fire because I can't get in and out safely.
Like that.
Gotcha.
If I can't get in and out safely, I'm not going to bring my Type 1 engine that's huge and go in there. I can't 3-point that. I'm going to do one of those Austin Power little but when that fire's coming up that hill blazing at me, I'm not going to risk that one, So that's why in our fuel reduction division, we offer that where people can, it's a for hire service. They can hire us. We'll go out there. All proceeds go to the nonprofit nonprofit, and where the firefighter cadets can get paid while they're working on these projects too. So it's kind of like essentially, you know, firefighting is a trade. You know, like over the years we evolved, and you know, we have paramedics and you know, things like that, where now we call ourselves professional firefighters. But really, old school ways, it's a trade, you know. So we run our program at a trade school campus. We partner with the Office of Education.
Where's that located at?
So that's in El Dorado, and the town is El Dorado, and it's in the county of El Dorado County. And so we actually partnered up with the Office of Education, EDCO, the El Dorado Office of Education, where they support us. They give us our the whole campus for free. We have the classroom. That's where we do our teaching on the weekends. You know, they've been a huge partner for us. You know, I think that's what, like, that was our first contract we made as a nonprofit organization, like, was with them, and that was the best one because they've been a huge supporter for us, you know. So shout out to EDCO. Hey.
All right, EDCO.
So you know, they've been a huge family for us, a lot. And so that's where we teach. The training grounds is the fuel reduction projects.
So you're going out, you're getting fuel reduction projects in your community, in these fire hazard areas, you know, or potential, and you're getting, students are coming in who want to get into this industry, maybe from a checkered past, just getting out, or young, out of high school, don't even know where to go, and saying, this is somewhere that I can learn at the school, get my certificate, right, and have an opportunity to get into this industry. Because you were telling me something, a neat fact, that 8 out of 10 individuals growing up want to be in the fire department, or that was a firefighter.
Yeah, that was a statistic they did here in our nation. Only in men, they did this study, and they said out of every 10 men in America, 8 of them at one point in their life wanted to be a fireman.
Well, it's ingrained, you know. And I tell a little story to kind of my passion of what I want to get to in the tree care industry is I tell these individuals that, you know, when these kids are growing up, whatever's taught to them that's in their mind, it's, you know, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a firefighter. That's always. And then I want to be Superman. You know, or, you know, I want to be like Stephen Greene.
No.
You know, but
we all do.
But that firefighter is always in. I mean, I was a kid. I was like, oh, firefighter. You know, because you have the big fire trucks when you're a kid. You see it's promoted. And, you know, my personal goal is I want that term, those words, but on the arborist, on the tree climber. I want that kid to be like, man, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an arborist. I want to be a tree guy, you know, in there. That's my passion, because our industry doesn't know about that. You know, how can I, you know, so when I hear that, you know, 8 out of 10, people don't even know it's an industry in the tree care industry. And that's our fault as an industry of not being able to educate and train the outside industry of what we do on a daily basis, and having it be the most dangerous job in the world, doing and climbing every single day putting yourself at risk like this.
But for sure, when I'm in a tree, I'm climbing that tree, you know how many people come out and watch me?
No,
just
they've
like,
never seen it.
Doing it there.
Especially as fast as you are.
Well, it was because you were yelling, help! Help! That's why they know.
I'm like, clear, move, get out of the way. I'm going to drop this limb. Get out of my way.
So these students come through, they get to work. They're going to school on the weekends. And you just had your first class, man. I mean, what a success. I mean, your very first class, from going from where you were, meeting Steven, being inspired by him to say, hey, you know, whooping your ass for 2 weeks, getting into the fire, working on an engine, to getting out, meeting Chief Matthews, and following this whole path to go, you know what? I don't want another story like Randy's and Justin's. You know, I want to help create different stories for guys like Randy and Justin that have that passion, are one of those individuals that are 8 out of 10 who want to have a career, want to live a better life, want to have a family and provide for them and do that, but the door keeps getting closed, closed,
Yeah.
closed, and your only option in life is to go back to what you know for the last 8 years or 10 years from that, and it doesn't end good for that. So, kudos to you, man, for following this passion, and going all the way with it to where you're here today. Trying to work with us, and we're trying to work with you to see how we can help each other.
Yeah, I think
how
so.
can Academy train, tree climbing school, arborist school, a tree care industry school that's working side by side out there with all the firefighters on a daily basis.
Yeah.
How do we work together? How do we create something that opens doors up for other individuals like a Randy and a Justin,
exactly,
and like a Tony and like a Steven that can come in and have a different story.
Definitely, we could, one thing with firefighting, it's like a adrenaline rush, and like I've tried to dabble into the tree climbing a little bit here and there, but nothing on your guys' level. No. And it's a rush too.
No, it is.
So,
it is. Because,
like it's perfect.
I know both sides.
Yeah,
now.
so
you know what I mean? Like I climb, started from the ground. Now I know what it's like to climb, and was scared shitless at first up in the tree. Like, oh my, I'm up in this air by this rope. Like, what am I doing up here? But just knowing the skill, and just keep doing it repetitively and going. But just good mentoring, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
good trainers, and what you do, like, I only climbed for so long before they asked me, like, you know what? Yeah. Like, how fast you're climbing? I wasn't climbing like that until I was like 3 years into it.
When you have teachers that teach you and run you through a school, in our industry, it's usually what Steven's doing now, 5 years in the industry, and he's doing in 12 months, to 18 months doing this stuff. Right, and it's this. The hard part now with Steven is what do we give him next?
He's
not a master in all this, but he's progressing so much. We don't want to stop someone in their growth.
For sure.
To go from running on the ground to climbing to running crews.
Yeah.
And now he's out there assessing the trees and working with the property managers and the owners and talking about defensible space and hazards out there with the trees. It's a giving him that opportunity to come in, he's given us an opportunity too. That's to see different, to options, see other options and have other individuals like you come in and sit with us for that, and doors keep opening up. We have an opportunity to change a lot more lives because Steven came in our lives.
Exactly. And like you paved the pathway for something like this, because you showed, just like how I did with the department, you did in this world
in the tree industry.
It's like, honestly, like we partnered up with the probation department and the parole department. So upon release from these programs, upon release from these prisons and jails, they the probation officer and parole officer will hand them a flyer and say, hey, or they'll let them know, like, hey, so what did you do? Well, I was in fire camp. Oh yeah, how many seasons? 4? Okay. Well, yeah, are you interested in still being a firefighter? And they're like, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about, right? Like, through those partnerships, we're able to reach and tap inside of these prisons and jails and let them know, but upon release, where now they can apply where they're inside still. And then now when they come home, they hey, come on, let's go, let's do it, let's help fight this fight, right? But like, see, with you guys, it's like kind of like the perfect timing too. It's like, because you guys are an academy, we're an academy, like
we can teach each other, grow with each other, like, teach each other things.
Like maybe they'll see something like, hey, you know what, like this tree climbing shit or this tree felling shit or like this stuff what you guys do is like I'd rather do this.
It's giving them more options.
That part
exactly.
Right
giving them more options from that.
And that's why I've told Anthony, you know what I mean? I was like, hey, you see me climb, your guys see me climb. They're like, well, where'd you learn to do that? I was like, dude, I learned, at the
most academy. Guys are YouTube.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I was like, I went from no climbing experience to no different systems, MRS to SRTing, you know what I mean? Like,
I like what you said.
When people hear that, they're like, "You got to be climbing for years." No, actually, about a year.
Yeah, but
what? No, not the way you be bouncing all around the street, all over the place. Nah.
And he's honestly he's part of the same breed. There's a breed of us that come home hungry. Obviously, you know, if we're showing up to fire departments wearing unmatched clothes, trying to get a job, you know, like
it's just determination.
You know, it's determination.
We
got
change,
we got the heart. We're hungry. Like, it's the perfect firefighter or a perfect, you know, arborist, you know, a tree climber. It's like, you know, and he proved that, you know, like, I like what you said earlier when you said, how'd you word it? You said, because when you came out, he came out to our training project to kind of see what one of our jobs, you know, we had a burn going on, and wood chipper was, you know, so it was like a full production, and we're working, and he's just like, he came up to me, he's like, hey, what about those branches? I was like, what? He's like, yeah, like the branches surrounding the homeowner's house, like, you know, you see. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, as firefighters, like I said, firefighters look on the ground. They're looking straight. Whereas us as climbers, we always look up now. Like, I have a habit of looking up. What's going on? What's above me? What's going on up there? And I told him, you know, he's doing defensible space. You know, hey, look at these branches. These limbs are going over this house. Yeah. That's part of the fuel reduction. You're gonna have to cut these back. You know, these need to be not over the house anymore. If a fire kicks off, it's gonna go on this tree, and it's gonna go on top of this house. Whether you did, you know, around the house, you know, there's still these trees that, you know, when these fires and flames are going up, where are these embers going? They're going on the tops of these trees, you know?
Exactly.
So it's like, let's cut these back.
Yeah, because we're hitting ladder fuels and all that, right? But if it gets up in the academy, or say one homeowner does their due diligence and gets their space, right? But if the other homeowners next to them, neighboring them, houses is torching because they didn't do their defensible space or their fuel reduction, the one who did their stuff, they end up getting burnt down, and the Caldor fire proved that, you know. And so, like, when he's pointed that out, I was like, go ahead, man.
You're like, go ahead, go
like,
there.
glad you're here.
I was like, have at it. And then he went up there, and just like a little monkey, and just and had these little electric saws we never seen before, and like, you know, like, and then he came back down like 007.
I was like, hey, you're at the academy, dude. Like, this is where I learned.
Yeah, and that's when.
Now, have you ever climbed before?
Me, I haven't gone any higher than 15 feet, so no.
So here's what we want to do for you for the academy. We want you to come back 3 days. Okay, we're gonna put you through a boot camp.
Yeah. Come
experience the academy.
Okay.
You're gonna stay here in the bunkhouse.
Yeah.
Go through it for 3 days. We're gonna put you through climber 1, climber 2. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna put you working with the chainsaw 1 and 2, and then we're gonna do precision cutting. Right. So spikes, up spars, cutting in the spar park, learning your cuts, and get you to where you're accurate 99% of the time with every single cut from that.
Look, I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Look at.
All right. Come experience, man.
Yeah.
We'll put you through it. So we have a class coming up April 14th through the 16th.
Okay.
It's a 3-day. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
If you can break away, great. If not, we have another one coming up, I think, in June.
Okay.
But this one's going to be a great class. We just had a class here, and literally 15 students, only 2 of them are from California. Everybody was from all over the country. Right. We had, which opened up my eyes, Ann is her name, from Tennessee, who did a little rec climb. Someone showed her some stuff, and she climbed with her kids. They had a good time. Yeah. She looked for a tree climbing school and flew out here from Tennessee. Yeah. Mother of 2. Never did this before, didn't really know what she was signing up for, and she came in with 15 people in the industry with some experience, year to 20 years, and went through this course. And before she went on the cutting to pick up a chainsaw on the first time, she cried in the bathroom for 10 minutes, went out there, picked up a 372 and started cutting.
Hell yeah.
By the end of those 3 days, she was climbing, SRS, MRS, climbing in the tree, working with the chainsaw, making her cuts on the ground, and in spikes up in a tree. That's in 3 days, in literally 24 hours, you're going to learn that stuff. So April 14th, 15th, 16th, block it off. Okay. We'll get you, experience it all. Then that way you can, you see what we're about. Okay. You get to experience it. So if somebody going through your school and they're done, and you got some different options for them, hey, you want to come over here, hey, let's get you in a fire department, stuff like that. But you're going to learn some skills. So next time you're seeing some limbs hanging over the house, you don't have to call Steven.
I could go home.
Call me.
But we'll do that for you, man.
That's solid. Thank you.
So tell the people out there that's listening to this, how do they reach you? Where do they go? I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, this is going to go for years and years and years all over the world. Okay. If people in South Korea want to fly here, how do they get a hold of you? How do they sign up? How do they get to partake in your school?
For sure, yeah. And before I do that, I want to also invite you to come join our academy, and so we'll put on something too for you. And,
okay. I'd love to come for a weekend.
Yeah, man, come hike. You already hike, so you ready to do this, so it's gonna be.
All right.
So yeah,
you got to put me through the ringer.
Yeah, you're gonna go through the ringer.
I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah, no,
all right, cool.
Good. It's like because it's they work hand in hand. We're because we're firefighters, we're arborists. We're
in your own way, yeah. Because you're cutting brush.
Exactly.
When I was on the line, we're cutting brush.
Yeah.
We're felling trees.
Yeah.
In this tree, what are we doing? We're felling and we're cutting brush. You know what I mean? It's the same.
Sure.
How do we bring these worlds closer together?
Exactly.
And like I was telling you earlier today, my boys from Ohio, Joseph Tree Service, 2 firefighters, man.
Yeah.
And what do we do for 8 days off every time? So they started a tree company, knew absolutely nothing. Now they employ all the firefighters and they teach and train aerial rescue in a tree, because if you can't get the ladder truck to there, if that climber is stuck in the tree and you can't get the ladder to him in a backyard somewhere hard, how do you get them down from the tree?
Climb.
Climb. And most of these guys, it's taking time to do that. So if we can teach them that, working with a chainsaw, felling trees, doing that, we'll be able to help and kind of let's mirror both together, to get you guys out, come teach some classes on fighting the fire, with us, help us get the certificate with our guys who will be certified to be able to go out there and fight these fires with you too.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do it. So to join the program, for anyone to come on board, they could check us out online at futurefireacademy.org. Also, you could check out our social medias, Future Fire Academy. We got all the postings there on their website. There's an application you can apply, and it'll walk you through it all. There's a menu button on top, and it'll walk everyone through. It's self-explanatory.
Apply. Get in the industry.
Send it in, and we'll get you through it.
Help fight these fires.
Yeah. So right now we teach basic 32, which is wildland fire. Nationally certified certificates that we give. We give the S212, which is the chainsaw class, and so that's for firefighting, chainsaw, and also portable pump to S211, which is how to operate the pumps, because we gotta be able to have that ability. And now when people get hired on, they have more to bring to the table with extra certificates on top of the basic 32, which we run. And so we got other things in the works too. We're working with Cal Fire to try to incorporate some of their curriculum and give more options. But it'd be really nice to like everyone thinks like firefighting, it's like fire, but there's so much more to it, like prevention. And that's why I think with the partnership and trying to get something, like you guys are the prevention. Like he was talking about those branches, up in.
Our industry isn't always reactive.
Mm-hmm.
It's proactive.
Yeah, that's cool.
And getting this taken care of before it turns into a problem is what we need to focus on and educate our industry. And there's some good things we're working on. We'd love for you to come be a part of on working with Cal Fire on coming and teach our community about defensible space.
Yeah.
And why do you have to cut this and prune this and remove this for them, for these homeowners, so they don't lose their homes, what they work so hard for, because they just don't know. It's up to us to educate them.
Yeah, this is our state, so like it's it's bad when we're calling on Australia to come help fight our fires. It's bad when we have private fire departments fire companies coming from New York and New Jersey and
other states,
Texas, and like that's how bad our fires are, where we're having them come help fight our fires. So there's just not enough manpower in the fire service, or in fire prevention, like arboristing. Like that's why, like, if we all come together and fight the fight, it's not just the flames, but it's like the prevention. Our
what you said, just the educating.
Yeah, our forests are overgrown.
For sure, educating it.
Yeah, our forests are overgrown. It is what it is. It's they're overgrown, and there's a lot of dead trees, bark beetle. Certain trees that need to be thinned out, so that way, when these fires come blowing through, they don't wipe out the whole town. It's like now we could do fuel breaks
Yep.
and like have a little buffer where hot shots can go and light off those fuel breaks and then fight better instead of trying to establish a fuel break right there on the spot. It's impossible, know, like, or defend that home. There's no defensible space. It's like,
the industry needs this right now.
Yeah. That's
so
it.
this timing that you came and started Future Fire Academy, it's needed. It's needed.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say, because the state sees it now. The West Coast sees it. There's no more loggers get out, protect our forest.
Yeah.
They're going, we got a problem. It's time to start thinning these forests. It's time to start doing these fire breaks. And a lot of money is being flooded in on the West Coast right now to be able to prevent in the future and save all these homes and lives and stuff like that. So
see, you said it again. That magical word, future.
Future.
You said it.
The Future Fire Academy.
It's no longer about the past. It's the future.
Yeah, it's the future.
And
it
we
is.
could build together and
now's the time. Now's the time for
That's
us to unite and work together to
Yeah.
be able to do this. So,
do
man, I appreciate you coming on the show, man, and sharing your story. If everybody listened to this, you liked it, you enjoyed it, you got something out of it, share it. Share it with a friend, tag him. If you know somebody that's out around the country that, hey, here's an opportunity for you to come and learn from the pros and to be able to create some opportunities to get into this fire industry, which is so hard to get in, but so needed out there. Like them, go to their webpage, fill out an application, share this with a friend and stuff, so we can unite and come together for that. And Stephen, I'm sure you're gonna be. You were good, man. You're way better than Jared. We fired his ass. So Jared, if you're listening to this right now, you're fired. Stephen's good. Yeah, no, appreciate you being here, Stephen, and partaking in this and telling the story and
making the connection.
definitely, and paving the way for other individuals to be able to get into our industry that I'm so passionate and love, the tree care industry.
I became passionate with.
Dude. What an awesome industry. Where we're at, it's just, it needs people that are going to have some mismatched clothes and go knock on a door and make some opportunities here, man. We need more people like you guys to be able to do that. So
let's give them the opportunity.
Let's do it.
I'm ready for that ring. Your guys' ringer. Put me through it. Let's do it.
So thank you, everybody. Listen to the show. Share the show. All right. That's it. Talk to you later.